Hi, I'm Tara Lynn of Geek Saga Entertainment, and welcome to Dunk and Egg Tales. Woo! This podcast series covers HBO's Night of the Seven Kingdoms, episode by episode, with myself, an avid reader of all things ASWAF, and my amazing co-host, Manny, a Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon fan who is unsullied, aka has never read the books, being your stalwart hosts. So first things first, you can find me on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at A Geek Saga.
And I'm Manny, the aforementioned unsullied co-host, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Menissimo Art. Thanks for joining us for this episode, which will cover Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Season 1, Episode 4, titled 7.
As a reminder, expect spoilers from the episode we're covering, but less obvious, there will be very minimal book spoilers from the Night of the Seven Kingdoms novella collection, which is, of course, the source material for this show, but only up to and including what has happened in aired episodes of the show. We'll kick off with our episode summary, then get into our tallest tales, aka our hot takes from the episode, followed by our favorites roundup featuring our personal fave things. After that, we'll close out by touching on Maester Manny's predictions on what might come next.
We also have a rating system that we will, as in our Hot D-Take series, fill in when and where we please, and that system includes rating things on a scale of 1 to 10. Dunk eggs, goose eggs,
goose eggs,
duck eggs, goose eggs.
Goose eggs, yeah. Westerosi breakfast sandwiches. All right, just one last piece of business before we dig in. Don't forget that Geek Saga Entertainment has a Patreon with 10 tiers ranging from $1 a month to $40 a month. It offers tons of ways to support us and receive some great perks in return, including live stream access to our Dunk and Egg Tales episodes for $5 a month and up. And then a day later, the video recording is available to our $3 a month and up patrons. And of course, our $3 a month and up patrons also get early access to the podcast versions of these episodes. Check it out at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.
And now it's time for the tall and the bald of it, our very brief for this series episode summary.
Opening, night, rain, Dunk in a prison cell. Egg, also known as Aegon V Targaryen, arrives with food and an apology. And while he definitely means it, he also clearly doesn't understand why what he did was so wrong because, you know, little prince and all.
Also, it really does appear that Baelor is pulling a lot of strings here, insisting that Egg apologize, informing Dunk that Maker found Darren and that there's some new bullshit being spread about Dunk kidnapping Egg, and leading Dunk to the whole trial by combat offer.
Not that little bitch Arion, aka Ass Hattie Dumbface, is about to take Dunk up on this trial by combat offer, instead insisting on a trial by 7, supposedly because of that whole pesky lie Darren told about the kidnapping. Seriously, the fuck, Darren. I mean, seriously, what the fuck, Arian, too, but that one is a given.
Yeah. Well, Dunk returns to his camp in quite a mood, and rightfully so, but at least Raymond continues to prove himself a good bud, having cared for Dunk's horses while he was gone and bringing Dunk to his cousin, Sir Stefan, who promises to gather his friends for Dunk's side.
Side note from your resident horse person, though, what is everyone's problem with people talking to horses? GTFO with that shit. Let people talk to their, I mean, in this case, they're not pets, but let people talk to their horses. Let people talk to their pets. I do it all the time. Getting back to our summary, though, while Dunk is opining his situation, Egg shows up to help, but it maybe wasn't the best idea for him to bring his lying drunk of a brother, Darren, with him. Sure, Darren apologizes, but a little too late, folks, and he doesn't help matters when he waxes on about the highly questionable dreams he's had about Dunk.
In addition to that, yes, we get it. Arion is a monster. That was already clear. And did we really need Egg's story about Arion essentially threatening to castrate him? We think not. Or throwing his cat in the well. We didn't need that either.
No. Even worse than Dunk having to deal with Darren's half-assed apology and dreams about Dunk and dead dragons, he finds out that Tancel and her puppet troupe have left the building. But of course, she's a stand-up gal who left his shield behind with steely pate, and what a shield it is.
That's all we're going to say about that for now, though, because we are going to give some love for the hodgepodge group of knights that show up to fight with Dunk. Knights that Egg gathered, by the way, because Sir Stefan is an honorless turncloak who not only didn't gather his friends to back Dunk, but who is also fighting on Arion's side. Boo Boo, Sir Stefan. Boo.
Anyway, we did get Lionel showing up for Dunk after all the additional interactions they add in the show. That makes a lot of sense. But what do Humphrey Harding, Rob Risling, and this other random dude know from Dunk? Whatever. Even if it's just that they hate injustice more than anything, good on them.
The problem is that even after Lionel's knights Sir Raymond Fosway so that he can fight for Dunk, and despite Dunk giving one hell of a speech, all he receives in return is, wait for it, fart joke. As in classic storytelling for this series.
That's right. Dunk's side is still one person short until dun 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 dun. Prince Baelor Targaryen arrives and announces he's taking Dunk's side.
Yep, this is great. But despite that high note at the end, we need to talk about Tallest Tale number 1, an asshole's guide to cowering behind a 6,000-year-old Andal foolery.
Wah, wah, they killed a dragon puppet. Wah, wah, high treason. Wah.
Look, in all seriousness, Dunk has the right to trial by combat, but LOL, of course, Aerion refuses. Let's be real, it's probably because he knows Dunk would probably flatten him like a flea. So when good old Dad Maker accuses Aerion of cowering behind some 6,000-year-old Andal foolery, even Aerion's dumb excuse about Darren's accusation doesn't seem to convince anyone, as it shouldn't.
Yeah, you predicted the cowardice from the last episode. As for the rules of this foolery, ugh, yuck, wow. He might be a little prick, but Aerion definitely knows what he was doing here. It's not like he will have a hard time getting 5 other knights to back him and his brother. So like he's fighting, Darren's fighting. We learn later that the Kingsguard has been ordered to fight, but I think that was always going to be obvious. So that's 4 right there. Maekar joining them makes 5 and also not surprising, but like they're the fucking Targaryens. They're going to find 5 other people, even if they didn't have the Kingsguard there, which obviously they would anyway. But I don't know, hearing these rules made me even more angry, I think, than reading them in the book has ever done. You know, there's something about seeing something on screen when it's done well, especially that it hits you a different way. Like, obviously it's maddening to read it too, but when it's done right, hearing it, seeing it, it's like, oh God, no, this is way worse than I like remember feeling about this when I read it. Yeah. You know, and Dunk has to find 6 other knights to fight with him, and he's a nobody. And the whole fact that if he doesn't find 6 other people to fight with him, it means he's guilty. Because, well, if your cause was just, you wouldn't have trouble finding people. Again, he's a nobody who doesn't really know anyone, especially not anybody important. I mean, except for Lionel, but in the book, he doesn't know Lionel. There's no interaction between him and Lionel really at all. So I'm glad they did that in the show, even though sometimes it felt a little bit much. It made that make a lot more sense, even with Lionel when he joins, being like, well, yeah, like obviously I want to like mess up the Kingsguard a little bit, whatever. But the rules, man, the rules are ridiculous. If you can't find 6 other people to join your side, you're automatically guilty. Fuck that. What?
Well, he did it on while he's playing into the fact that, you know, that Dunk doesn't know anybody. So he's like, oh, great. So he's going to sit there and file his little nails and just sit there and not do anything because he knows that, Dunk is going to squash him. Dunk would just pick him up and break him in half and toss him somewhere. You know, we can't have the little prince get messed up and damaged there. So we got to try to like outmaneuver him, I guess. Whatever. But we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah. I mean, we do see how it turns out. Well, actually, we don't see how it turns out quite yet for Tallest Tale number 2, but I do want to talk about how Dunk is trying to handle this shitty situation that he's been handed. Tallest Tale number 2, are there no true knights among you? For such a lunk, Dunk sure gives a damn rousing speech. Like, really, not so much of a lunk now. Am I right?
Yeah. Exactly.
This episode was hard with the Tallest Tales because there were a lot of things that I was like, this is good, this is good, this is good, but how can this not be one of them?
Yeah.
And we'll get into Tallest Tale number 3 pretty soon, I think, because they are very closely related. But I will say that the actor who plays Dunk, this was the first time where I felt like he wasn't a bumbling idiot at all. Not that he's always a bumbling idiot in the previous episodes, earlier in this episode, etc. But he really all of a sudden comes into his own, and he, I would say, stands up metaphorically, not literally because he's on a horse, but you know, he stands up for himself. He stands up for the fact that he was just protecting the innocent from somebody who was harming them. The fart joke, didn't love that so much, but it did. No. I mean, it it was there. The brute of Bracken, he stands up and everybody's like, oh, the brute of Bracken. And then it's like, fart.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing with the show. It's like, guys, I mean, are you wanting me to take the show seriously, or is it supposed to be funny? Like, there's just instances like that where it's like, but I guess really it just, the whole show feels like exactly what happens in every single episode. It's a bunch of people hanging out, getting drunk in a bar, doing stupid shit. That's what all these episodes seem like, because there's the parts where it's just like normal, whatever, and then it gets unhinged and kind of weird with stuff like that. But
I didn't love that, but at the same time, like, it's disheartening, sure, for nobody to come to Dunk's side because of that speech, but it had to be one of the tallest tales because it was so good and it was delivered so well. They focus on all these different faces in the crowd. The girl who is the Queen of Love and Beauty, the daughter who's the Queen of Love and Beauty for the tourney. It was very, very well done. Like, at no point did it seem ridiculous or forced. The speech itself, I mean, the fart, but that wasn't part of the speech. We loved the speech.
yeah, the speech was fantastic. The fart pulled me out of it,
Yeah, But that's, again, that's this show, right?
that's how this show is, and like whatever. But I get it, and it pulled me out of the scene. But I think they did a good setup there to kind of show you how nobody takes this shit seriously, and people are not noble in that sense anymore. So Dunk's out there being noble, and this guy just gets up and fucking farts. Okay, yeah, you're gonna take a shit on fucking nobleism because all you motherfuckers lost your fucking way. Like you're just a bunch of fucking drunkards, as far as I'm concerned. It's like, fuck you. Like, is there no good anymore? There's one of those scenes, right? Is there no good in the world anymore? You guys are all jaded and shit. So as much as it pulled me out of it, it was actually like, okay, it's making a statement about who the people are, So I thought that was good enough.
Also, it was a Bracken.
Yeah.
House of the Dragon seemed to like bolster the Brackens a little bit from what I remember in season 2, which is interesting because they are assholes also in the main series. That you don't see them really in the show very much. In the later seasons, when Jamie is going through the Riverlands, he meets with the Blackwoods and he learns that the Brackens are being a bunch of assholes. But in House of the Dragon, they kind of bolstered the Brackens a little bit. But this took them back down a few pegs. So good for textual reference. But anyway, moving on.
Tallest tale number 3. Speaking of true knights, Prince Baelor for the win. Let's go back a bit and say honestly, yay for all of these knights who joined Dunk. But Baelor jumping in at the last second is just chef's kiss. Am I right?
For real, when he says this man protected the innocent as every true knight must, when Makar's like, he wronged my son, and Baelor's like, yeah, he was doing what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, like, he's a knight. Yeah. That's what knights do.
I love me some Baelor. I will say, like, also, it is a damn good thing, Baelor, because I don't think we know much about Baelor's prowess, but we do know that he won a bunch of jousts previously and stuff. So he's experienced tourney-wise. He's a Targaryen, so he's been trained by the best of the best. So, like, it's a damn good thing that he joined up, because let's be real. Humphrey Harding has a fucked up leg and has to be strapped into his saddle. Lionel may or may not be sober. I'm going with probably not, though if he is, he'll probably be hung over. So this version of Lionel, in the book, he's not like portrayed quite this way. He's portrayed as being the laughing storm, and he's a little bit ridiculous, but he's still very well-known and very good tourney knight. So this version, though, probably going to be drunk. And if he's not drunk, then that means he's going to be hungover. Brandon Fossaway was just a squire literally 5 minutes ago. And Dunk himself might be big and strong, but he's never actually competed in a tourney. So regardless of how good or not Sir Arlen's training might have been, he doesn't have any experience in a situation like this. And he doesn't have any experience fighting in a battle, as far as we know either, like actually fighting on the front lines. As for Risling, Tara's a one-eyed comrade in arms. We don't know much about him as of yet, other than he might be or is totally mad, and that he only has one eye. Doesn't have the best vision. I can attest to how that feels right now. And the remaining knight, by the way, is Humphrey Beesbury, but they didn't introduce him at all. I went back and watched that. I watched the episode twice, and then I went back and rewatched the scene where Humphrey Harding is like, yeah, my leg is broken, but I can still ride a horse, and Lionel's like clapping Dunk on the back, like, I've always wanted to fuck up some Kingsguard and whatever. and then of course, obviously, Stefan comes in and is a total fucking piece of shit, but they don't introduce the other guy who's standing there, but it is his name. It's Humphrey Beesbury. I want to say he's Humphrey Harding's like brother-in-law.
Okay.
I can't remember their exact relation, but one of them is married to the other one's sibling.
Yeah.
So he's joining on behalf of his brother-in-law because he's pissed about what Arian did to him. But they don't introduce him at all. He's just there. I think we saw him fight in the tourney and he looked like he was pretty good, but like they don't even say his name. I'm pretty sure, 99% sure. They didn't even say his name. I even had to look it up because I was like, well, I know he's related and his name is also Humphrey. I do remember there being 2 Humphreys on Dunk's side, but regardless, I was like, they did not even say his name. That's weird. I don't know. Whatever. I guess it doesn't matter. But did you even notice that there was that other guy there and like
Nope, I didn't even notice it, man. I didn't.
That's funny, honestly. Also, come on, the Game of Thrones music.
Yeah.
When he shows up and says he's taking Dunk's side, like that was perfect too. No other music would have fit. It was perfect. It was fucking perfect.
And it was great to hear the music not like as a backdrop of someone taking a fucking explosive diarrhea shit. Like in the first.
Let's give the music some gravitas again. Thank you.
It's great. That's almost washed out my palate of what I think of now when I hear that song. I hear the song and I'm like, who's taking a shit? Hold on, someone's taking a shit. I can hear it.
Pavlov's music over here. Time for our favorites roundup.
This one's easy. Obviously, Baelor showing up at the end. I thought that was great. It raised a lot of questions for me. Does that count as treason? What is that? Is he just rocking the boat? But I love it because, again, if there's one thing that you kind of notice with the people who are fighting with Dunk is that a lot of them are pretty fucking old. And it's kind of like they're siding with Dunk because Dunk probably has those qualities of the knight that they had back in the day that these older men probably understand is lost at this point. So it's kind of cool to like see that. Obviously, Dunk getting his shield. That was awesome. Very touching.
I'll just piggyback on that because that's definitely one of my favorites too. And like the shield is gorgeous. I will say, wouldn't it be better if because Steely Pate, Dunk is the stars falling, the sunset heralds night, the end of the day. This is all bad omens. And Steely Pate is like, but the tree is alive. Those leaves, look at the green. Those are summer leaves. And I'm like, wouldn't it be better if they were spring leaves though? Summer moves into fall and the trees die pretty quickly. But okay, whatever. He's right. They're alive. Although to be fair, in Westeros there can be false springs, so there is that, I suppose. And the summers do last many, many years, as we know from Game of Thrones. So, but yeah, the shield is gorgeous, and also the line "Oak and iron guard me well, or else I'm dead and doomed to hell." This line is practically like a prayer that Dunk repeats a lot in the novellas. He obviously starts it in this one, but going forward, he repeats it too in the other 2 novellas that have been published. And I've been waiting to hear it. I knew they wouldn't leave it out, but still, I've been waiting for it. It's such a good line. Oak and iron guard me well, else I'm dead and doomed to hell. Love it. And also Steely Pate, just everything about the shield, like that Tansel left it. Tansel had to run off for good reason. Her and her troop were like, let's get out of here before we get in trouble again. But obviously she left the shield, and that Steely Pate actually fixed the metal around it and everything, and she charges Dunk a copper. Dunk is like, oh my God, how much do I have to pay you for this? And it's, nothing. And everything. And Steely Pate is great. He's a good guy. He's good people. Like he wants to be paid for his work like any true artist should, but he's a legit dude.
Agreed.
Anyway, so beyond the shield, anything else for you for favorites?
Yeah, Dunk's speech, man. That whole scene with it, with Baelor, leading up to like Baelor coming in and stuff. I thought that was awesome. I wasn't surprised to see Lionel there. I'm like, yeah, of course he's going to show up. That was like a given. I was like, I know he's going to show up. He was just like, hey guys, I'm a little tipsy. I'm looking to fuck up some of those Kingsguard, but couldn't find a good reason to fight them. So now this is a great reason for me to fight their asses. Like,
I'll be honest, I think you could pull off a damn good Lionel cosplay.
I think that's probably going to happen. After this last episode, I was like, you know what? I can do that.
Because half the time he's just wearing like regular clothes. All you got to do is like have some you know what you need? You need the antlers and some regular clothes. That's it. That's all you need. You don't need the armor or anything. Maybe a sword. Like, or honestly, just a cup that looks sort of like whatever cup he carries.
Yeah, I thought about that when I was watching this last episode. I was like, damn, I could probably pull that off.
A tug of war rope wrapped around here. You could though. I totally think you could.
Oh man, yeah.
I could be Dunk.
There you go. That's true. You could be Dunk.
I'll just wear some boots with lifts in them.
Oh my gosh, that would.
Oh my gosh, would Jen wear a bald cap? We could get her to be.
That would be amazing. Holy shit, dude. We got to get her on that. That would be fucking awesome.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man.
So favorite stuff for me, the beginning scene where Egg goes to apologize to Dunk was like so hard to watch, but it was really good. If you've ever had a kid who's done something wrong and they're really sorry that they did it, but also in a way maybe don't understand that why what they did was so wrong. Like they get that it was wrong, but they don't understand how it could have hurt somebody as badly, etc. Like, just, I don't know. And when Egg says like, I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. And Duncan's like, of course you did. That's why you lied. Like that's a great couple lines. The scene was really well done. And I watched the post episode commentary, and the commentary on it was great too, because it's like Egg feels like he's lost a friend because of what he did. And he's really upset about that. Dunk is like, he's angry and he doesn't want to forgive Egg, but he also cares about him. So it was a very well done scene. It was super well acted on both of their parts. When Egg is like crying and it's like, oh, you feel so bad for him. And Dunk's like, dry your eyes.
Yeah.
Suck it up, kid.
Suck it up, kid.
But it was so good. I don't think I've had a single complaint once about any of the interactions between Dunk and Egg. It's like they just keep getting, even when they're sad, like this one was, they just keep getting better and better.
Agreed.
Also, wow, these Fossaways all like really hate Targaryen.
Yeah, they do.
It's funny. Also, Stefan's not wrong regarding where are their dragons and all.
Yeah.
But wow. And
I loved it when he said that. He was just like, where's their dragons? Yeah. Like, fuck you. You guys ain't shit, you know?
Because we're talking about Stefan right now, and I didn't want to give this tallest tales moment. This is not a favorite thing, but I do think it's something that we should touch on a little bit. What the fucks are Stefan? This could not be a tallest tale moment because it's bleh. We mentioned it very briefly in the summary. Obviously, I knew this was going to happen. What a dick.
Yep.
What a dick. Maybe we're like missing a section in these discussions, but it's been a lot easier for me to insert like, how did you feel about this? And like this reveal, this happening, whatever. This not so much because it's not anything positive. So I don't know if this needs a new section in future episodes. We'll see. But when that happened, were you surprised? How did you feel about it? Other than like, what the fuck, man?
I was definitely surprised about it. Personally, this is why I would have never have made it to any adult age in Game of Thrones, you know, because honestly, I would have just fucking, I don't know what I would have done. I think I would have just fucking knifed him in the face or something, like, honestly,
called up and punched him.
Yeah, I would have just fucking walked up and just fucking punched his ass. This is why I would have never have survived.
Not to interrupt you, but I will say I could add this to my favorite moments, and maybe you would feel the same way too. But in response to Sir Stefan being such a fucking honorless turncloak, Raymond fucking stepping up, agreeing to fight for Dunk, having to be knighted right there on the spot. And he's not super young though. He's not squire like Egg is a squire. He's an adult man.
He's an adult man. You
know, and he's been a good friend to Dunk, as we said in the summary. But
that was actually a question I had too. So Dunk was gonna knight him, but then Lionel did. So yeah, he becomes a knight of the Seven Kingdoms, but does he become a knight of that house?
So he is a Fossaway. So he is just technically, yes. That's all I'm going to say about that for right now.
Okay, gotcha. All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
I will not touch on it anymore until we get there.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't some sort of, it wouldn't be some sort of gigantic spoiler, but I want to see how they do it in the show, and I want you to see how they do things in the show.
Okay.
But the only thing that matters is that he is a knight and he is agreeing to fight for Dunk.
Yeah, I just wondered about what the political implications are. So if I was like a Targaryen,
I'm sure,
and they fucking hated me and they're like, you'll never be a knight. But then I go and I fucking go hang out with Lionel and get him fucked up one day. I'm like, hey dude, why don't you fucking make me a knight? And then they make me a knight, right? Now what does that mean? I understand that I'm a knight of the Seven Kingdoms, yes, but whose house am I actually representing at that point?
Yeah. Well, okay then, ratings. This one is hard for me.
This one's kind of hard because it had some strong points.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I give it like a 7 out of 10 because there was things that I liked about this episode and people I wanted to stab in the face in this episode. So yeah, I'll give it a nice 7 out of 10.
There was the stuff with Arian in the beginning, the whole like, oh, we have to do the trial of the 7, whatever. Like it's frustrating, but it's not like it was badly done. And I actually, like in the notes here, I was like, oh, this one's hard. I didn't love the episode despite its high points. And my thought was I'd maybe give it like a 6.5, but I actually put in the notes, I'm letting you go first because I might base my rating off of you. I think I agree. I think I'm giving it a 7 duck goose eggs.
Dunk goose eggs. Dunk goose eggs.
Westerosi breakfast sandwiches. Maybe from now on, we're just going to rate everything on Westerosi breakfast sandwiches.
I mean, you know what?
The egg was a little overcooked, but
Yeah.
I'll give it a 7 out of 10 in Westerosi breakfast sandwiches.
That probably has a little more weight to it. So, if we're giving it a 10 out of 10, it's some good shit.
Yeah, like
that
where
shit
do you buy goose eggs? Like, can you buy those at Whole Foods or something? You need to bake some like actual homemade bread.
Yeah.
And you need some goose eggs, and it's ham. I'm pretty sure it's ham that they fry up, slabs of ham. Oh yeah. Give me that sandwich. Were there vegetables on it? I don't think there was cheese, which a breakfast sandwich needs cheese in my opinion, but
yeah, it does. It definitely does. That's how we're just going to modernize it, is what it is. We're not going to do it like the way the ancestors of old did it in Westeros. We're just going to do it modern style.
When the season is over, I'm gonna somehow find a fucking goose egg and make a Westerosi. I will bake a loaf of bread. I've gone through bread phases. I went through one during COVID, like everybody else, but I also went through one about 12 years ago. I had this very like difficult point in my life where making bread, like the kneading of it, was like really cathartic for me. So I made a lot of loaves of bread. It's been a bit, but I've done it before. So maybe I'll do like a Westerosi breakfast sandwich recipe if I can. I mean, I might have to substitute chicken eggs or something, but those goose eggs are huge. The yolks were gigantic. And I don't really like egg yolk, but listen, I'll take one for the team if I can find them.
It looked fucking good. That shit looked fucking good, dude.
So we're giving it a solid 7 out of 10 for this episode.
7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. You know what I would like to see, honestly? So there's like Dungeons and Dragons, right? You ever heard of Shadowrun? Okay, yeah. So Shadowrun, for those who don't know, was an RPG very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. It had the same thing, like orcs and all that kind of stuff, but it was set in like a Blade Runner-esque type future, to where it was with technology and hacking and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of a nerdy, kind of computery thing or whatever, where it dealt with that. And I never saw the two as separate entities. I just thought, well, Shadowrun is just the same universe as Dungeons and Dragons. It's just what happens when they finally made cars and buildings and corporations and all this kind of stuff. I would love to see a fucking Game of Thrones show that is based in today's world. You know what I'm saying? Like with different oligarchies or whatever, like I would love to see something like that, dude. I don't know why I thought of that out of random, but I was like, shit, man, that would be a cool fucking thing to see.
This is why you need to read the Red Rising books. It's not a show yet. Maybe shows or movies someday, but so okay, Maester Manny's predictions. What dost thou predict for episode 5, sir?
I predict a lot of action and cowardice, and I kind of predict that. And I really hope they're not going to do it. I hope I'm wrong in this prediction, that they are going to stretch this one out to the next episode. I don't predict there being a resolution until after this next episode.
Well, there are 2 episodes left. I have some concerns about that as well, because they're short episodes, but 30 plus minutes of them fighting and then nothing. Like, I do have some concerns about how they're going to do these next 2 episodes. Not like I'm going to be mad about it, probably. They're doing so good with it. But
yeah, it's not going to be bad or anything. I just feel like they're going to, but then again, they're doing a second season of this, right? Or is it just a 1 season thing?
So yes, there are 3 published novellas. I don't know 100% for certain how much farther they might go beyond that, but I do believe for sure that they will get the 3 seasons. So okay, so your prediction for next episode is that they're well, I guess it's not really a prediction. It's your concern is that they're going to drag it out. Yeah. But any predictions, like actual predictions?
Yeah, my prediction is that the episode is going to end with some type of humiliation on this asshole. I have a feeling that they're going to end this episode. It's going to be kind of cliffhangery, but it's going to be like something that's a little more on Dunk's side, hopefully. I mean, if I want to guarantee an actual prediction here, I'm pretty sure that Lionel's going to have a drink at some point.
He'll be quaffing a tankard of ale before he like runs out into the lists.
Oh man, yep.
He's like, I don't know if you watched the preview for the next episode, but there's this whole thing where like a young kid, it looks like a very young person in the middle of the tourney field that's like, this is going to judge like who's right and who's wrong and blah blah blah. And like maybe what'll happen is that speech will be given and Lionel will be like drinking a whole like tankard of ale and then he'll burp really loud.
Yeah, exactly.
At a 1 to 5 scale, with 5 being yes, absolutely, and 1 being not so much, do you think there will be burping or farting or
Oh yeah, 5 guaranteed.
Well, in the preview they already showed Dunk puking. Okay. I feel like Dunk is nervous puking. That I can set aside. But will there be some ridiculous bodily function? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Someone will be sharding themselves, guaranteed. Okay, guaranteed.
It'll be Darren.
Yeah, exactly.
Darren's already like basically, I'm gonna throw this whole thing. Like I don't even want to be here. So.
Yep.
All right. As we close out the episode, we just want to say thank you to our listeners for joining us for Dunk and Egg Tales. Woo! Manny and I will, of course, be back next week to cover the 5th episode of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Meanwhile, for our most current news and updates about this and other Geek Saga podcast series, make sure to follow at A Geek Saga on Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and or YouTube. And also, please consider supporting us by backing our Patreon at patreon.com/geeksaga_entertainment.